What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at Chainlink and see what it's doing on the daily chart, the weekly chart, the 4-hour chart, and also the Chainlink Bitcoin pair, just so we can find any clues on what is going to happen next for Chainlink. All right, so let's not waste any of our time here and jump straight on in to the daily chart. As you guys can see on the daily chart, Chainlink has finally broken that resistance that we've been talking about on this channel since we really started this channel, right? We've been talking about this rising wedge that's really been playing out for Chainlink since its inception back in 2017. We have finally now broken out of it. Now, you guys know in my last Chainlink video, I did tell you guys if we got rejected at the top here, we were probably going to come back down and retest the bottom. But I also did say if we do break this, we're going to start seeing a giant run on Chainlink. Now, what I'm waiting for today, just leave today, is a daily close above this line. You can see right now we are currently above it on the candle body, but we need to get a daily close above it to confirm. We've had wicks above it before. Really, every single time we go up to the top, we have wicks above it. So we need to confirm on a daily close, which is obviously coming up in a few hours time frame here. Now, what can we expect here on the daily chart? Well, do we have room to run higher? Well, if you actually look at where our daily RSI is, we are just starting to creep into overbought territory right now, but we have tons of room to run on the upside here on the daily RSI. So that is looking really, really freaking good. Now, I want to switch over into the weekly chart here and take a look at what we're kind of looking at. So on the weekly chart, we are still slightly above it as well. But do we have room to run up on our weekly RSI? Well, you can see our last big top-offs for Chainlink on really our upside. You can see right here, our last three really big impulses to the upside for Chainlink, 1, 2, and 3. You can see our RSI has gotten above an 87 each time we've had these big run-ups for Chainlink, right? So you can see exactly where we are now. On the weekly RSI, we're at about a 71. So we got tons of room to actually run to the upside here, which makes me think that we are about to absolutely explode for Chainlink. And this is super exciting. This is what all you Chainlink Marines and myself have been really waiting for Chainlink for quite a while. So this is really exciting. Now, well, let's take a look at what our possibilities of an upwards move is at the moment. So if we take a look at a couple of our last big moves, right? So let's take a look at our fib extension targets. So from that big move to the top to the bottom, we went approximately right up to approximately about our 2.618 Fibonacci on our first impulse to the upside on a candle close, right? Now, let's take a look at our next one from this top, really, it's not really from that top, actually. What you got to look at is really from this top, because we actually did a longer bottom. From this top to the bottom, we actually surpassed all our Fibonacci targets. So we're not getting a really concise pattern here as far as where we can impulse to. And then on this one, we actually are still going up here, but our first initial impulse went kind of right up to our 2.618 Fibonacci. So we had a 3.618 Fibonacci, one that surpassed our Fibonacci extension targets, and one that went up to our 2.618 Fibonacci. So it's tough to really pinpoint on where Chainlink could go here in the short term. I think what we're kind of looking at is once the weekly RSI surpasses the screen line, that's kind of be where maybe we could take some profits on Chainlink here in the short term. Now, switch on over to the 4-hour chart. What we're pretty much doing right now is we're having a pullback to basically retest our old resistance as new support here, which is super bullish, exactly what you want to do. This is basically our resistance line of our wedge. We're basically coming back down to retest it, confirm it as support, get that over with, because what we usually do when we break out of these big patterns is we always usually do come back down and retest them. So we're doing that right now, coming back down and retesting. Maybe we kind of bounce around this area for a while and then continue up, over the course of the next few days. Let that 4-hour RSI kind of cool down, and then allow us to really continue our big move back to the upside. Now, what we can look at here is kind of our short-term fibs. So let's take a look at our top to our bottom of this last big move, and you can see we do have a couple targets that we could still be looking at here. We have our 1.618 Fibonacci, which is approximately at 53.63, and then our 2.618 Fibonacci, which is approximately at 68.36. So those could be our next kind of short-term moves if Chainlink does obviously bounce off this area and continue up. What would be bearish to me for Chainlink is if we actually did come back into this wedge. We don't want to come back into the wedge, and then we can start looking at downwards targets if we actually do. But right now it is looking bullish, so we have to obviously save that for a different time if we do start to become bearish. Now, switch on over to the Chainlink Bitcoin chart. This is when it really starts to get interesting. We know as soon as we broke this big resistance here where we had a bunch of touches coming down here for Chainlink. As soon as we broke that resistance, guys, it was game over from there. You can see we actually came back down, back tested it as support, and then after we did that, we absolutely skyrocketed to the upside. Now, where can we expect Chainlink to go? Well, we actually, as far as we actually broke out of a cup and handle pattern here as well. So let's see if we actually hit our target from bottom to top, and we extrapolate that cup and handle pattern breakout at the neckline. We still have a little bit more room to run on this. You can see here, our breakout target is technically a little bit higher at about that 0.00098 on the ratio, but I do expect Chainlink to get a massive impulse on this. But we definitely have a lot of resistance coming up here around that general area from our peaks back here and also our peak back here from July of 2020. So that's what we're kind of looking at on the Chainlink Bitcoin pair. I do expect Chainlink to catch up against Bitcoin, as we're also seeing the Bitcoin dominance continuing to take a hit day after day after day. So that's really the video on Chainlink today, guys. Super exciting times. I'm bullish unless we break back into that wedge. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also press the subscribe button if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the live stream coming in shortly.